Welcome student. Good morning to all of you. Yesterday we have seen an interesting lesson that is The Luncheon Little Humorous. Today we will see a new lesson that is World Heritage. You must have heard this word World Heritage. So we will see what the heritages are and what the World Heritages are. So before proceeding to the lesson, we will see some warming up activities. So, my first question is, have you heard about the wonders of the world? There are so many wonders of the world. How many of them are there? How many wonders of the world are there? Yes, Sandhya? Yes, Sandhya, how many wonders of the world are there? Okay. Yes, Avinash?
Seven wonders, ma'am. For
Yes,
world.
seven wonders. Very good. There are seven wonders of the world. By after answering, just unmute yourself, mute yourself again. There are seven wonders of the world. They are as follow. We will see what these wonders of the world are. So first is Chichen Itza. It is located in Mexico. Another is Christian de Redeem, a statue. It is located in Brazil. Another is the Great Wall of China. It is obviously located in China. Next is Machu Picchu. It is located in Peru. Look at the sites carefully, how it has been built and how it is. Another is, there are so many pictures are there in this. It is Petra. It is located in Jordan. So look at the buildings, their artifacts and all that. And everyone knows this is Taj Mahal. It is located in Agra, India. And the last is Colosseum. It is located in Rome, Italy. So these all are the wonders of the world. Why do we call it as a wonders of the world? Because it has some natural or cultural importance to the human. And that is why we called it as a wonders of the world. It also has some historical background, and because of that, we have listed them as wonders of the world. Who listed them as wonders of the world? It is all on UNESCO. UNESCO is the one which list or which include all these sites as wonders of the world. How it includes and all that we are going to see in this lesson today. But before proceeding, we will see what does the UNESCO stands for. That is, what is UNESCO? So UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, and it is a specialized agency of United Nations. You must have heard or learned in the 9th standard about United Nations and its organizations. So it is one of the specialized agency of United Nations which has aim in what? In promoting world peace and security through international cooperation in education, sciences and culture. Here ESC, that is stands for Education, Science and Cultural. So UNESCO is the one which adds or includes all these sites as a World Heritage sites. So heritage, I'm using again and again heritage word. So what does this heritage mean? So heritage means something that is handed down from the past. That means we get from our ancestors, and as a tradition or something that comes or belongs to one by reason of birth. Maybe as a tradition we follow it from our ancestors, or by birth we got something, an inherited lot or portion. Maybe we get some inherited qualities from lot, so many qualities, or a portion of that we get from our ancestors, or something that is valued or preserved because of its historical, cultural, or natural importance, or something that is been preserved or valued from so many years back because of its historical. It maybe have some historical values or importance, may have some cultural importance or natural importance. History, you all know what historical importance is. Culture is the way of living of people, the way they live, maybe their dressing style, their living style, uh, what festivals they follow, and all this is called as culture. So if any site has some cultural, historical, or natural importance, UNESCO may declare it as a World Heritage Site. So now you all know what is UNESCO, what is heritage, and so we will see, proceed for the next step. Do you know any heritage building in your own city? Now we live in Mumbai. So in Mumbai, there are two heritage sites declared by UNESCO. That is Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus. Many of you, all of you have seen this Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, the railway station. So this is declared as World Heritage Site. And another is Elephanta Caves. Many of you have seen this Elephanta Cave. So these are the two sites which are declared by UNESCO as World Heritage Sites. Next, now we will see the difference between the World Heritage and Cultural Heritage. What is difference between World Heritage and Cultural Heritage? So World Heritage is the designation for peace on earth that are for outstanding universal value to humanity. World Heritage is what? Which has some outstanding universal value to humanity. Universal value must be there in that particular site. So that stands for as a World Heritage Site. A World Heritage is when a tradition or landmark is meant to be recognized by other groups of people as deserving respect and preservation. So it is not just in which country that site is there. It should be preserved. All people from all groups of people from all the country should feel that yes, this site should be included in World Heritage, and that becomes the World Heritage. Then afterwards, UNESCO declare it as a World Heritage. Now we'll see what is cultural heritage. A cultural heritage is a tradition or landmark that is specific to one group of people. A tradition that specific to like every people or every community has their own culture. So it is specific to one group of people. It is an expression of the way of living developed by community. So how the people live, that is their culture, and passes on from generation to generation. Whatever culture we are following now, it is being passed on from our uh, so many generation to generation, and that we are following. So it is passes from one generation to another, including customs. Our all custom rituals are including practices, whatever we do, places. There are few places which are included in our culture, then objects, artistic expressions, and values. So all this includes in cultural heritage. So this is the difference between the world heritage and cultural heritage. So now we will move towards the lesson. We will see the lesson. So World Heritage Site are determined means set by United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO. UNESCO declares which site will be as a World Heritage Site, and how they will declare: if the site has some significant cultural or natural importance to humanity. That site must have some significant means important cultural or natural importance to humanity. It should be good for humanity also, should not harm humanity, and it has some natural or cultural values, importance, and then only UNESCO declare it as a World Heritage Site. And such sites are protected and maintained by International World Heritage Program. And all these sites are protected and maintained by International World Heritage Program, which are administered means look by UNESCO World Heritage Committee. So all under UNESCO, they all maintain and protect these sites. And because the World Heritage Sites have some significant or importance of natural and culture, they are very means there are so many different types of heritages are there. They may have forest, may be there, lakes, monuments, buildings or cities. It can be any type of heritage site. It's not just that historical places or historical monuments will become as a World Heritage Site. It may be a forest, lake, monument, building or anything. As you have seen the seven wonders of the world, in that all kinds of World Heritage are there. So this is the logo of United Nations of that is United Nations of Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, that is UNESCO. And these are some heritage sites from India which are declared as World Heritage Sites by UNESCO. Now, World Heritage Site can also be a combination of both cultural and natural areas. So, it is not compulsory that it should have just natural importance or having some cultural importance or historical importance. It can be a combination of both cultural and natural importance. For example, Mount Hoxton in China. This is a Mount Hoxton in China. It is a combination of natural and cultural uh, importance. Why? How natural? Natural because you can see the characteristics or land features of this physical landscape and all uh, of this site, and this is the natural, this has some natural importance, and it also has some historical Chinese art and literature. There are so many Chinese art and literature based on this, and this importance is also there. That means culture is also there, we found, and that is why it is a combination of both cultural and natural importance. Now we'll see history of World Heritage Sites. Who has started that we will preserve few sites or some sites as a World Heritage? How it has been started, that we will see now. So it was protecting cultural and natural sites around the world began early in the 20th century. Means in the beginning of the 20th century only, the protecting of all such sites has been started. In that monumentum, actual creation was not until 1950. Means actual before 1915 actually no one had started, but some idea was there in few people's mind that we should protect such sites as a World Heritage, or this site has some importance and we must protect it, and that idea was there in the 20th beginning of the 20th century only. Then in 1954, Egypt has started plan to build a Aswan High Dam. This is an image of Aswan High Dam. So they have started plan to build this dam to collect and control water from Nile River. So whatever water were flowing from Nile River, they wanted to collect and control that water, and that is why they wanted to build this Aswan High Dam. And you all know dams area is too huge, and while doing this, the construction would have flooded the valley containing Abu Simbel temple and ancient Egyptian artifacts. So if they will build this dam, then because of that, Abu Simbel temple and many ancient Egyptian artifacts will come into danger. Scores of means plenty of, many of artifacts means made by human beings. Many of such artifacts or things which are made by ancient people will come into danger. And that is the reason they have think something about that. They protect, to protect the temple and artifact. All those artifacts. This is an Abu Simbel temple, and these are some artifacts of ancient Egyptian artifacts. So these are created by human beings, ancient people. So to protect all these artifacts and temple, UNESCO launched an international campaign. They have launched an international campaign in 1959, and that called for dismantling and movement of the temple to higher ground. Dismantling means pulling down, the destroying, or if the dam will have built, that may destroy. So to not get destroyed, they have arranged and campaign, launch and campaign, so that they could protect dam should build, and along with the dam, they should make some provisions so that these temples and these artifacts should not get destroyed, or uh, should not get destroy that value or that importance. And that is why they have launched that campaign. And in that project, there were around US dollar 80 million dollar were included. In that, 40 million dollars came from different countries. 40 millions were, they have collected it from different countries, and another rest of 40 million was contributed by US only, America. And because of that project was success, UNESCO and International Council of Monuments and Sites initiated, means they have started a draft convention. Convention is an agreement to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. So after, it was the first time that they have protected this Abu Simbel temple and ancient Egyptian artifacts. So after of its success, that project has been successful. They able to protect this Abu Simbel temple and ancient Egyptian artifact, and they have also built up that dam also, Aswan Dam. So because of that success, they have decided that we must create some like this international organization which will be completely responsible, which has some complete responsibility to protect such heritage sites. Maybe that may be the cultural site or natural heritage site or historical heritage site, but we must protect all these sites. So shortly after that, in 1965, in White House conference, United States called a World Heritage Trust. There they have called a World Heritage Trust, which will protect the historical cultural sites. But along with that, also protect the world heritage, world significant natural and scenic sites, not just historical and cultural site. They will also protect natural and scenic site, because of so many advancement and development, there are so many natural things are there, maybe animals, few plants, or forests are there, they are about to dismantle, and that is why they wanted to protect that also. And that is why not just a historical and cultural site, but they wanted to preserve the natural and scenic site also. Then finally, in 1968, International Union for Conservation of Nature Development developed similar goals, means having the same aim, presented them to United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm. So 1968, they have also same kind of goal they presented in uh, United Nations conference that was uh, held in Stockholm in Sweden in 1972. And then the following presentation of these goals, that is convention and agreement, was made for protection of world cultural and natural heritage, that was being adopted by UNESCO in General Conference on November 16, 1972. Means finally the agreement which was proposed by Union for Conservation Nature's Development, that is been proposed by this organization in Stockholm, and UNESCO has adopted that in November 16, 1972, so that they can protect such sites from all over the world for the future generation. Next, the World Heritage Committee. What the World Heritage Committee is? So today, World Heritage Committee is main group which is responsible for establishing such sites which will be listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Sites. Means UNESCO is the one which is responsible, or which has the responsibility to listed down the World Heritage Sites. Means which site should include in World Heritage. That is all depend on them. They all decided that whether we should include this site or not. The committee meets once a year. That committee meets every once a year and consisted of representatives from 21 state parties. And there are 21 states, means from 21 countries. All these representative comes there, they meet and decides, and that are elected for 6 years of term for World Heritage Center as General Assembly. So World Heritage Center's General Assembly is there, and it is election is held over there, and in that election from different countries 21 heads are being elected, and that committee is being for 6 years. Like in our country, a government is for 5 years. After 5 years we again have election, and then new ministers and all comes, representatives comes. Likewise here in this committee, 21 state parties are there, and they are being elected for 6 years. The state parties are then responsible for identifying and nominating new sites within their territory. Whatever territory will come, area or region will come under them, they will identify and nominate those sites considering inclusion on World Heritage List, so that site should have some importance, natural, cultural or historical, and should stand different from others, and that should be included. If that should be included in heritage site, then that should be nominated in this heritage cultural heritage site, so that it will be included in heritage world heritage, becoming a World Heritage Site. So to become a World Heritage Site, what criteria they follow? So there are total 5 steps uh, to become a World Heritage Site. In that, first is for the country or state party to take an inventory. Take an inventory means detailed list of that particular state or country. Whatever is the state thinks that these all are the sites which should be there. Yes, anyone has question? This first rename yourself. Yes. So first is the country or the state party will make a detailed list of that particular site which has some significant cultural or natural importance. Those sites which have some cultural or natural importance, that country will make a detailed list of it, and this is called as tentative list. That will be a tentative list, not a final list. And it is important, that tentative list is important because nomination to the World Heritage List will not be considered unless the nomination site was first included on the tentative list. Means if that site will name of that site will not be there in the tentative list, then that site will not be considered as World Heritage Site. So first step is that particular country or state party should include the name of or the details of that particular site in tentative list. That is the first stage. Then after that, next is the countries are then able to select sites from their tentative list to be included on the nomination file. So in nomination file, whatever the tentative list are there, then they can be select the which site out of these are the tentative list and these all are the sites in our tentative list. So they can select which is the best among them. So they can select those sites. So that is the next process. Then after that, third stage is review of the nomination file by two advisory bodies consisting of International Council on Monuments and Sites and the World Conservation Universal, who then make recommendations to the World Heritage Committee. So there are two advisory bodies which suggest the nominated uh, list of World Heritage, whichever the lists are there which are nominated, they suggest that yes, these are the sites which we should include or we must think about it and we must include it in the World Heritage Site. So that is the third stage. Then the World Heritage Committee meets once a year to review this recommendation. All 21 representative meets once in a year and they recommend, they suggest and decide which site will be added to the World Heritage List. So after all this, finally those 21 representative decides that yes, this has some unique cultural and national importance and that is why we must include that site as a World Heritage Site. And then the final step is to becoming a World Heritage Site. It is determining whether or not nominated site meet at least one of 10 selection criteria. There are some 10 selection criteria in that if it fits, then only they have fixed some criteria that all this should be there in that particular site, and if that 10 selection criteria if it fits, then only it is described or it is finalized as a World Heritage Site. If the site meets these criteria, if that site having all those criteria, it can be inscribed. Inscribe means to write or print, to engrave, or declare as a World Heritage Site list. So if it has those criteria, then only it is included in the World Heritage list. Once site goes through this process, it is chosen. It remains the property of country on whose territory it sits, and but it also becomes considered within the international community. Means after that become a World Heritage Site, that country becomes obviously that property is belongs to a particular country where it is located, but also it is a part of World Heritage Site. So it is comes under UNESCO. Even the country itself cannot destroy that site. Then we'll see the types of World Heritage Sites. There are so many types of World Heritage Sites. So what are these? We will see few examples. As of 2009, there are 890 World Heritage Sites in the world located from 148 countries. In our map, there are 148 countries. In that, as of 2009, there were 890 World Heritage Sites. In that, 689 of these sites are cultural, out of which 689 are cultural. That include places like Sydney Opera House. This is Sydney Opera House in Australia, and Historic Center of Vienna in Austria. This is an historic center of Vienna. It is located in Australia. So, Austria. Sorry. So these are also included in World Heritage Site. Then there are 176 are natural sites which are located in that two are this is US Yellowstone National Park. This is an Yellowstone National Park, and another is Grand Canyon National Park. This is Grand Canyon National Park. Park. So look at the sites, their features. So you can understand why these are included in the World Heritage Sites, out of which again 25 of them World Heritage Sites are considered mixed. Some of them are mixed, that is natural and cultural. It has some natural and cultural importance. For example, Machu Picchu, this is Machu Picchu, which has some cultural, there are mountains and all, and also it is made by people, there it shows their culture. So say there are some that is total 25 of them are mixed, that is having some natural and cultural importance. And out of that, Italy has the highest number of World Heritage Sites, that is 44. 44 World Heritage Sites are there in Italy itself. India has 36. In that 36, 28 are cultural, 7 natural, and 1 mixed. Your homework is you have to find out all these sites from India which are cultural, natural, and mixed. You have already studied all this in 9th standard history. So if you go back and look in your history textbook, you will get all the names of all these cultural, natural, and mixed heritage sites of India. Then the World Heritage Committee has divided the world's countries into 5 geographic zones, so that they can decide one particular region has, they have to decide which sites will come under this. So there are 5 geographical zones, and those are: first is Africa, second Arab states, all the Arab states comes in ones. Then Asia Pacific, Asia comes in one, including that Australia and Oceania is also included in Asia Pacific. Then fourth is Europe and North America. And the last one is Latin America and the Caribbean. So World Heritage Committee has divided the countries into these 5 geographical zones so that it is easy to nominate or make a tentative list of the World Heritage Sites and to decide whether that site should be included in the World Heritage Site or not. Now, we have seen there are so many World Heritage Sites are in danger. How that are in danger? There may be some natural disaster will be there, or something will happen, or people may harm it. So because of that, so many sites are in danger. So there are so many historic, cultural, or natural sites are in danger. And what why it is danger? Because of uh, due to war. Due to war, I mean, there were so many wars happen in the world, and because of that, maybe it is in danger. Then poaching, then natural disasters like earthquake, uncontrolled urbanization, heavy tourist traffic, or environmental factors like air pollution, acid rain. Like if our Taj Mahal is there, it is completely in the white marble. If acid rain will fall over there, then it may destroy. So all such factors are there. Because of these, all these world heritage sites are in danger. And why these happen? All these are, there are some uncontrolled or which are not in our hand, that is natural disaster that we cannot control, that is not in our hand. But others fact, or due to other reason because of which the heritage sites are in danger, that we can control, and we should think about it and should protect our heritage sites. So World Heritage Sites are in danger in are in danger because they are inscribed in a separate list of heritage sites which are danger. Means there are so many sites out of which some are about to destroy completely. They have fallen and all. So they have listed in a separate list that these are the sites which are in danger and we must look after it and protect it. So they are listed in a different list. To allocate means to assign resources from the World Heritage found that site. Means there are so many people or committee has been assigned over there so that they can protect. Maybe some of the part they can again rebuild and all, they do all this. In addition, different plans are put into place to protect or restore the site. There are some plans to make to protect that site. They restore the site by again by rebuilding the same kind of it, uh, by just they just take care of it. It's not just that they entirely make a different site. They just rebuild it or they just renovate it to protect that site. If, however, the site loses the characteristics which allowed for it to be originally included on the World Heritage List, the World Heritage Committee can choose to delete the site from the list. So, if that site loses the characteristic, whatever the criteria they have fixed up to include that site as a World Heritage Site, if that site loses its characteristics, then the World Heritage Committee has the complete right to delete that site from the list. So, students, it is all our responsibility to protect that site as a World Heritage Site so that it will be there in the World Heritage and it will preserve for the future generation. Like we are seeing that site now, our future generation should also get to see that and have that know the importance of those sites. Even you can see, if you want to know more about World Heritage Sites, you can visit this website. uh, you can have more information about World Heritage Sites and other, how it has been included, and all the details you will get on this site. Now we will see the question answers. What do heritage sites in the world include? Hope you all understood the lesson. Uh, how the World Heritage Sites are included in the World Heritage Sites, and how what criteria they follow, how the steps are, all that we have seen here. So, what do the heritage sites in the world include? I'll give you the answers directly. The answer is World Heritage Sites are places that are significant culturally and naturally. They include forests, lakes, monuments, buildings, and cities. So, in the World Heritage, the places which has some cultural and natural importance, they are included as a World Heritage Site, and they may be a forest, lakes, monument, building, or cities. Next question is, what kind of sites are protected and maintained by the International World Heritage Program? What kind of sites are protected? So the answer is the sites which have significant cultural or natural importance to humanity, which has some we should have some cultural natural importance to humanity. Such sites are protected and maintained by International World Heritage Program. Obviously, it should not harm to humanity. That is the main purpose. If any particular site harm to the humanity, then that will not be included in the International World Heritage Sites. Next question is, students, you can take a screenshot of this. How many World Heritage Sites are there around the world? So, as of 2009, there are 890 World Heritage Sites are located in 148 countries. As of 2009 data, there are 890 sites are there from 148 countries. What is the role of World Heritage Committee? What is the role of World Heritage Committee? The World Heritage Committee is the main group responsible for establishing which site will be listed as UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it has the complete responsibility which site will be included or not. It allocates resources from the World Heritage Fund to the site which are in danger to protect or restore them. If there is any site which is in danger, then they allocate some resources so that or some fund so that they can protect them or restore them as it was. If, however, a site loses the characteristics which allowed for it to be originally on the World Heritage List, the World Heritage delete the site from the list. If that site loses its characteristic or loses its originality because of which it is been included in the World Heritage Site, then the World Heritage Committee can choose to delete the site from the list. Next question is, what is the tenure of World Heritage Committee? For how long it is been elected? The tenure of World Heritage Committee is 6 years. It is elected for 6 years. That 21 representatives are elected for 6 years. Those who are raising your hands, first change your name, write proper your names. What are our duties towards preservation, conservation of any historical site? What are our duties? World Heritage Site declares some sites as a World Heritage. Now they declare it, they protect it. But what are our duties towards the preservation of any historical site? So we must not underestimate any historical site and understand the value of it. We must value of it any site. We must help in keeping the sites clean or participate in regular cleanliness drives. We must keep all those sites clean. Mainly, many people go for sightseeing and all, and on the tour. During that time, they go to that particular site, but they whatever they eat and all, they keep all this there only, they do not keep it clean. So it is our duty, at least we can keep that side. Whenever we go, we must use dustbin to throw the garbage, whatever wrappers and all are there, we must throw it in the dustbin only, so that at least a small contribution, that is keeping the site clean, that we can contribute over there. So regular cleanliness drives should be there and we must participate in that. How you if you can't go there, then at least you can keep in your mind that whenever I will go, I will keep in mind that I will not make it dirty. That is the main step that we can do at first. We should help in preventing and avoiding any kind of destruction of a monument by anyone. Otherwise, we can report any such matter to the concerned staff. So, it is our responsibility that we should not destruct any monument, or we should not harm, or we should not harm the originality of that particular monument. Many has the habit, whenever they go to any fort or anywhere, they inscribe their name, write their name with something on that fort. It is not belong to you, it has been built by someone. We get in we get from our ancestor, or from someone, and that is declared as a World Heritage Site, or that has some cultural or natural importance. So it is our duty to protect it. We should not inscribe or write our names over there. And if you do not write, if you see others write names over there, you can inform it to the concerned staff who look after it, so that we can protect the originality of that particular site. We also have to spread awareness about these monuments and their importance among the people. And we must spread the awareness of the monument and importance among the people. This is how we can preserve or conserve our natural, historical, or cultural heritage sites. And that is very important, student, that whatever natural, cultural, or historical sites are there, we must preserve it. Like as we are seeing it, our future generation should also get to see this. Otherwise, we will just read all these sites in the book only, or see in the net only. We will not be able to get to see this in reality. Why should we preserve the World Heritage Site? Why we should preserve it? We should preserve the World Heritage Sites because they give us information about past and also help drive the economy of several community. Drive economy means they give some importance, give some financial financial importance, has some financial importance. That is, there are so many tourist places which are there on the World Heritage Sites, or such sites are there, historical, culture, natural sites are there, which are tourist places, because of which we get economy, which we get money. That means these are the economy for several communities, financial support for so many communities. Because of that also we must protect it. And also it gave us information about the past. They help people from other parts of the world understand and learn from our culture. It gives information about our culture, and other part of the people, our world people may come and learn about our culture. Preserving heritage sites does help sustain the location, economy, creating jobs, and even generating capital. It also generate capital, create job, and also improves the economy of the country. Conservation of the World Heritage Site is very important because it provides a sense of identity and continuity in the fast changing world for future generations. So, because of all these reasons, we must preserve the World Heritage Sites. Next is, what is the role of World Heritage Sites to develop tourism in the country? How the tourism has been developed because of World Heritage Sites. Tourism is one of the leading economic sector in the world and represents a major source of income, employment, exports, and taxes. World Heritage Sites are significant in cultural as well as natural way, so they lead to increase in tourist arrivals. Yes, if they have some cultural and natural importance, then tourists will definitely come there to see it, and because of that, people will get income, employment, export, and tax. Government will also get taxes. It has also been found that tourism destinations with such cultural or natural sites constitute one of the chief attraction for international tourists. They go to know the history and to explore the beauty of such sites. So we can conclude that the World Heritage Sites have the major role in developing tourists in any country. So obviously, because of all these reasons, the tourism has been developed because of World Heritage Sites. Now, complete the following by giving reason why World Heritage Sites are in danger. Here the web is given to you. World Heritage Sites are in danger. One is war, then another is poaching, acid rain, floods, air pollution, earthquakes, natural disaster, and heavy tourist traffic. So if you see, only two are there, natural disaster and earthquake. Earthquake again comes in natural disaster only. So these are the only two which are not in our hand. Rest all are, flood is also a natural disaster that we can conclude. But other all are in our hand, due to which all these heritage sites are in danger. So it is completely in our hand that whether we should do more air pollution, war, poaching, heavy tourist traffic, or acid rains also because of pollution only. So it is all in our hand to protect the sites. Choose the correct alternative and complete the given sentences. So first is Mount Hoxton. It is situated in China. The famous dam situated in Egypt on the river Nile is Aswan High Dam, and because of which Abu Simbel temple and artifacts or ancient Egyptian was about to destroy, but they have protected it. The conference based on human environment was held at Stockholm, Sweden. The highest number of World Heritage Sites are located in Italy, that is 44 sites are located in Italy. Next, dash can be delete or exclude a site from World Heritage Site. That is, World Heritage Committee can exclude or include or delete the World Heritage list. The tenure of World Heritage Committee is 6 years. Next, look at the words and their meaning. Here some words are there and you have to choose the correct alternative for the word. Determine. Determine is to decide. So it is decide. Monument is memorial. Significant is important. Disaster is calamity. Any natural calamity or anything that is disaster. Find from the text minimum 8 words related to cultural heritage and to make a word register. You all know what is word register. If it is given, a word is given to you, you have to write the words related to that. So here it is given cultural heritage. So cultural heritage is given to you. So you have to find out the 8 words from the text which are related to cultural heritage. And you have to arrange it in alphabetical order. You all know how to arrange it in alphabetical order. So word register for cultural heritage is, I have written here 10 that I will give you. There are so many are there. You can find out from the text. Abu Simbel Temple, artifacts, buildings, sites, historic event center for Vienna, Machu Picchu, monuments, Mount Hoxton, places, sites, etc. So these are 10 words that I have listed. You can find out more words from the lesson. Now we'll see some grammar part. Use not only but also in the following sentences. Some sentences are there. You have to use not only but also over there. It is very easy. UNESCO and the International Council on Monument initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. Always remember, where there is and, you have to use but also over there. So before that you have to use not only. So at the beginning, not only will come, not only UNESCO, instead of and we have used but also, not only UNESCO, but also the International Council on Monuments initiated a draft convention to create an international organization responsible for protecting cultural heritage. So here the whole sentence will come as it is. You just have to insert not only and but also at right place. Next is the state parties are responsible
Nikita ma'am,
for. Yes,
sorry for disturbance. Can we wind up?
yes.
It's already
Student,
8:25.
okay. Student, just take a screenshot of this. I'm just giving you the answers and we will wind up. So state parties are responsible for not only the identifying but also nominating new sites. Other sentences. Okay. So we have finished our lesson. Hope you all understood all the question answers and the lesson. Go home and read it. And if you have any doubt, find out the words from the dictionary. There are some margin questions are there. You have to find. It is your homework that you have to find it from the lesson. Answers of all those questions from the lesson. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikita ma'am.